the pig, it's a little frozen still. So I'm rinsing the brine off, but I'm also kind of defrosting it a little bit more. I have a few things I got to do yet, so that's okay. Oh, so basically what I got going on here is I've got a basic mirepoix. I've got the real aromatics already cut up and everything. Basically, it's just carrots, onions, and celery. Garlic. I got a lot of garlic in here because I like garlic. Lemons, limes, an apple or two. But the cavity in the pig's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I need to make some more. The carrots I don't need to cut up. I bought baby carrots at Costco. They were cheap. The lemon actually I'm going to save for the chickens. You know what? I got a ton of lemons. So we'll do these. None of this is going to get eaten, so it's just going to get all thrown away. So you don't really need to peel the onions. If you don't want to, you can. I did, and then I decided that the cavity on the pig was too big to not stuff it all the way. Funny, this is my old cleaver, not my outside cleaver, not my inside cleaver, and I forgot why I stopped using it. Now I remember why. Okay, so let's grab Mr. Piggy here. Oh, and the other thing I have here is some cheap sake or rice wine. This might go to in my coffee. Oh. Eat. Dead eyes, like a doll's eyes. Alright, so. Yeah, sadly, he's a little small. So, I'm just gonna dump this mirepoix in. Now, I want him pretty stuffed. Now I also have some chickens I have to do, so this part of this mirepoix is going to go in the chickens also. And that ought to be good actually. I didn't do too bad with the estimating. See, I'm going to steal some. Nah, I'm going to go get more. I have plenty of stuff up in the house to get more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these skewers here, which are nice and sharp. And I'm going to sew him up. I'm putting these about every inch or so. If I had a big sewing needle, they make a needle for this, and I don't actually have one. Shockingly, I know. I had one, I don't know what happened to it. Pigskin's tough. There we go. I'll come back with a pair of dikes and cut these off in a minute. Actually, I'll get a pair of dikes. This doesn't take all that much longer, but it's definitely going to make a difference with the flavor of the pig itself. And then before I put it on the fire, I'm going to smear him with that one's done. Canola oil. Now, I read different places that you're supposed to mop them. You only need to mop them if you're doing a butterfly. This isn't going to need to be mopped. If you wanted, you could stick a beer can in here too. Like when we did a big pig, I would put a beer can in, but I've kind of gotten away from cooking with beer. So basically what you do is you put a beer can inside the pig and you poke a hole in the beer can, and eventually the beer will start to boil and steam the pig from the inside out. And that's kind of part of what the mirepoix does, is it steams the pig from the inside out. You do the same thing with chickens. I think I'm going to put one there. You know what? He's going to go just like that. They make footballs out of it. Alright, it's not going to get one then. You can use metal skewers, I probably should have, but these wooden ones will work just fine. This is just butcher's twine. I bought it on sale at Acme. A little slip knot. Be careful, these are sharp. I've already poked myself several times here. Actually, I snapped the tip off my knife. It just so happens I have a razor blade here. So we're just gonna poke a hole in that with a razor blade to facilitate going through a little better. And that works much better. There we go. It's pretty decent. You have to let it drain somewhat, obviously. Here's here. Not. Another little knot there. And that's good to go. Now let's get them up on the pan. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. And we're going to give them a little massage of oil here, just because it won't hurt anything. Yeah, that should be fine. Now, you have to keep in mind here that this pig is now super duper slippery. It was super duper slippery before. Now that he's a literally greased pig, he's even more slippery. I should wrap his ears in foil, because what's going to happen is the ears are going to blow up. You can see the modifications that I did here. I added in the these grates here to help with the airflow of the for the charcoal. So after the assistance of an unwilling participant in the videography, I got him up on there. Got a nice slant going, all the goop's running into the drain. I'm going to stick the probes in, which I should have done before I did this. So I got one in the ham here, pretty much as thick as it'll get. You got one in the neck. And I should probably put one in the loin too while I got him. This thing has 6 probes, so why not, you know. Now that center probe is actually in too deep. It's into the actual cavity of the pig, so it's always going to read a little weird. I'm going to pull that one out a little bit. All right, plug it in. Alright, and there's a handy app that comes for your phone. Okay, I would have preferred the pig to actually be closer to ambient temperature, but to be honest with you, it's about 90 degrees here, or in the 80s already, and it's like 7 in the morning. This is a this is a grill from my other grill. I'm gonna put that there, because I hope I'm going to be cooking some chickens in here. I hope. The little piggy's already starting to cook a little. You can hear him sizzling away over the sound of that air conditioner, which I am not shutting off. I'll be wondering where I left that drill bit later. Alright. That's the one thing I forgot to fix, is the damper. There we go. Damper's open to get some of that heat out of there. And we're basically choked off completely. Yeah, a little bit of air coming in. But that's it. And then we'll get back to this in a couple hours. I'm gonna go stuff my chickens. And they're not my chickens. I bought them at Costco. So there it is.
There's the pig.
I stopped shooting video right around then. Part of that was because I got really busy with the rest of the party preparations. We had 29 guests. The pig turned out wonderfully. It was delicious. It was moist. It was succulent. It was flavorful, and it went over great. I actually gave away more than I should have, because I didn't get any, other than what I picked off the head while I was pulling it apart. So basically what happened was I didn't put enough charcoal in the first run, so I ended up having to add charcoal about halfway through the cooking process, which was something that I really didn't want to do, but I just had to. Another thing that you didn't see was I put another probe in the cooker itself to monitor the internal temperature of the cooker, which stayed around 325 degrees until it started to drop, and in which case I had to add more charcoal. Was 40 pounds of charcoal briquettes, and then about 20 pounds of cowboy chunk charcoal, which worked relatively well. I ended up having to add another 20 pounds of charcoal to that, briquettes, and then another probably half a bag of cowboy charcoal to keep it rolling up to the 200-degree target temperature. It stalled. It did basically exactly what I wanted it to do. It cooked for 3 hours. It got to 180. It stalled for about half an hour, 40 minutes, broke, and then I let it go to 200. Once it got to 200, we pulled it off, and I let it rest for a couple minutes. Not a whole lot of time, because I wanted it to still to retain its juices. I know that's the opposite of what you would think, but because it's a barbecue kind of pork, if you wait too long for it to rest, it dries out. It's just going to dry out. I tried not to have that happen, but it did dry out a little bit. It was delicious. But like I said, the other reason that you don't see any more of the pig is I wanted to retain the privacy of my guests at the party.